BMW, used to be a lack. Chillin', relax, let your hair down, sink in the track. You in the presence of a rare breed. In fact, that's a Mac. Survived the drug epidemics, meth, coke, pills, heroin, to crack. Shielding from getting into deeper games. Interrogated for what? They just killed my kindred, man. I just feel this ill feeling in my gut, like a constant uppercut, like you've been punched. I was young and dumb, I didn't know what these rules came around for, what was about to be done. If I did, would've had your back with a fully loaded gun. Self-defense plan on your property and them cowards are gone. But that's not how the story goes. That's why you better watch your back, cause you never know. These snakes, crying wolf. Look at these snakes, crying wolf. Look at these lames, crying wolf. Look at these bitches, crying wolf. I'm a real motherfucker, y'all. That's why I'm a headache for y'all. Choo-choo got love for you, but I don't know why you wanna do what you do. What you do, what you do. Hate on me, I don't hate on you. Why do you do what you do? Hate on me, I don't hate on you. No one gonna take the place of God. I don't got no middleman, don't answer to y'all. Don't bow to no lieutenant, don't bow to no sergeant. I'm in my own cabinet, my own general, y'all. I had to break the monotony up like the Monopoly board over my fucking knee, cause we need more. Poverty is hungry and they starving, and what we doing right now in the stock market? Trading stock, people like cattle. Wake up, y'all, we in a battle, light in the shadow. Knowledge and ignorance will turn on the temporary. Now play another seminary for my obituary. The money over everything, a love over money. Is your loyalty a dollar amount? Cause you ain't about shit to me. Loyalty is priceless, I differ from another screen. Difference between the wolf and the sheep is the one that's loving the grass and the other's about to eat your ass. So I land my am strapped with a blast so bad that I blast a motherfucker back to the past. So you better make like a tree and leaves fast, and leaves some leaves fast, so I can roll them up real fast and make peace. How about that? How about that? How about that? I'll smoke to that, but behind the smoke screen I know the wolves are fighting on me, so I better do what I do quickly. Alright, now listen up, everybody in the room. They're coming at us a lot quicker nowadays, you know. They're not wanting us to be blown up like a linen. We're not wanting to be blown up like pie. I mean, why let the seed grow that far? So they're trying to get the rose before it even gets through the concrete. Understand what I'm saying, people. Watch your back and stay true and do what you gotta do. These fakes crying wolf. Look at these snakes crying wolf. Look at these lames crying wolf. Look at these bitches crying wolf. I'm a real motherfucker, y'all. That's why I'm a headache for y'all. Choo-choo got love for you, but I don't know why you wanna do what you do. What you do, what you do. Hate on me, I don't hate on you. Why do you do what you do? Hate on me, I don't hate on you. Don't confuse self-defense with being a hater. Don't confuse self-defense with being a bully. If you poke on somebody and poke on people, and somebody finally puts you in your place, you know what it is. You know what it is. It's too true.
What are targets complaining of? Constant surveillance, secret campaigns to destroy their lives, rights being violated, being treated as criminals or terrorists, even though never charged with a crime and no opportunity to clear their name, torture, scrutiny and surveillance often carried out by regular people, secret databases and secret notifications. Absolutely. These trends can now be shown in the general society at large, as I have just demonstrated. Next, what is the Targeted Individual Program? It is many things all at once. It is a discrediting and disruption program, similar to COINTELPRO. It is a torture, interrogation, brainwashing, and mind control program, like MKUltra. It is a secret form of repression, persecution, and psychological warfare, carried out in the community largely by regular people, along the lines of Stasi or Zersetzen torture. It is a political abuse of psychiatry, as has been carried out in many countries as a way to torture and discredit dissidents. Finally, it is unethical, non-consensual human experimentation on unwitting subjects with advanced directed energy and psychotronic weapon systems. Overall, it represents a coming together of the most vicious and effective tools and weapons for covert harassment and political control of dissidents, activists, whistleblowers, agitators, those aware of corruption, and other, quote, undesirables, unquote, that the world has ever seen. What are the goals and purposes of the program? Again, many. Let's start with an understanding of the mentality of the state. President Obama's information czar, former Harvard Law professor Cass Sunstein, co-authored a paper in 2008 which advocated that the government should, quote, cognitively infiltrate and disable, unquote, those who have ideas which the government finds threatening. For example, 9/11 truth activists. Now, at a minimum, this suggests running illegal COINTELPRO type disruption campaigns. But more interestingly, let's parse the words carefully. Cognitively infiltrate and disable. Cognition refers to the mind or to thought. Infiltrate means to penetrate with hostile intent. So literally, these words mean to penetrate the minds or thought processes of troublesome individuals with the intent of disabling those individuals. Fascinating in light of what targeted individuals experience. More specifically, what are the goals of the program? Force the target to stop unacceptable activities such as whistleblowing, activism, exposing corruption, etc. Silence the target, both about original activism and about their targeting. Subject the target to noise campaigns, swarming, colors, and repetitive behaviors as a form of harassment. Attack any psychological weaknesses. Cause the target to blame themselves for their targeting, and as such destroy their will to fight back. Create a track record of so-called mental illness, useful for discrediting and plausible deniability. Discredit the target. Isolate the target from all forms of support using secret notifications, slander, and covert harassment, carried out largely by regular people. Encourage the target to lose hope and lash out in suicidal or homicidal rage, secondary to covert harassment and destruction of the target's life. Set the target up for possible institutionalization or arrest. Damage or ruin the career and or finances. In some cases, break up the target's family. Potentially cause the target to become homeless. After breaking the target's will to fight, in some cases, attempt to change the mindset, politics, or ethics of the target. Create a mindset more useful for the state. Evaluate the potential for corruption or even recruitment. To summarize, the goal is the neutralization of the target, which is exactly the goal pursued by the former COINTELPRO program. Okay, so who gets targeted by this program? There's a lot of overlap with COINTELPRO. COINTELPRO targeted, quote, perceived threats to the established political and social order, unquote, which in practice during COINTELPRO meant civil rights activists, peace activists, women's rights activists, dissidents, so-called unfriendly politicians, or even just nonconformists and individual activists. In some cases, it can be proven that counterintelligence operations have been undertaken against those aware of high-level criminality or wrongdoing. They've created two excellent websites, targeted-individuals.com and gang-stalking.com. Gunderson explained, quote, "It is my professional opinion, based on information, knowledge, and belief, that the information sought by Mr. Labella in this FOIA suit regarding gang stalking reasonably describes an ongoing, active, covert, nationwide program that is in effect today and has been in effect since at least the 1980s, and has increased in scope, intensity, and sophistication by adapting to new communications and surveillance technology," unquote. As a whistleblower, Gunderson was himself targeted. He experienced whisper campaigns, surveillance, phone tapping, computer hacking, poisonings, group stalking, aerial stalking, and more. He stated that based on his experience, victims are targeted for a variety of reasons, including government and corporate whistleblowers, parties to financial and employment disputes, parties to marital disputes, especially divorced women, and even jilted paramours, journalists covering controversial issues, and even attorneys and private investigators representing unpopular clients or interests. Gunderson's affidavit can be viewed on the internet and, in my opinion, is a fascinating read.